one memory of that film is there's a particular part where you're sitting there and I think you're talking to Randeep Huda's character, I don't remember too well, but like you're heaving and you're saying, listen, what I do is you think it's easy, but it's not. And you're heaving, like I think you're referring to being part of the adult film industry. It's like you think it's easy, but it's really a lot of work. Do you remember the scene?
Yeah, no. I'll have to watch it again.
But you know roughly what I'm talking about,
yeah.
right? Was that something that came from you? To tell people that you may think this is easy, because it's also there in your series about how you can strip yourself of the clothes, but you cannot strip yourself of the dignity, right? It's something that you talk about even in the series. That's something that you feel strongly about, Sunny. That the way the people look at an industry, and it seems damn easy, but it's really not.
No.
It's also a lot of work.
But I think every job is like that. If you talk to any entertainer, even if, let's say, they had help from family members, helping them, push them along the way through requests or whatever it is, even you can't make a fan like you. You can't make someone they can't make them buy the ticket. So if they're succeeding, they're succeeding because of their hard work. Let's just get past a Friday, right? The hype of a film and people going in to buy a ticket. But some of the actors, they're huge because they earned it, and it is not easy. Sometimes it looks easy on the outside because, we're all polished nice. We all cleaned up nice, we did our hair, we got makeup on, nice clothes and shoes. And then you have no idea what's going on the background, or if that person slept or not, or if they've been working nonstop and, not eating properly because they just don't have the time to do it, because that's what happens, or you have no idea the emotions behind, like, what's going on in their personal lives.
What your day was like on that day.
No one ever asks, hi, how are you? Like, really, how are you?
Yeah.
And nor would that other person, especially an entertainer, is going to actually tell you how they feel. It's not going to happen. Or at least I believe most of the time it's not going to happen, because our job is this is the mask.
Yeah.
And we have to move forward and get our job done, and that's it. So no, it's not easy.
Yeah, I mean, you say hi, they don't say hi back to you anyway.
Dude,
so.
I just want someone to say hi back to me. Don't ignore. Didn't this happen just the other day? Right? He was there. There's my witness. I was like, she just totally ignored and walked away.
The other thing, of course, and this is in relation to your journey, and there's something that became huge in terms of a statement in 2022, not by you, by Mia Khalifa, okay, where she was referring to the adult film industry and about how she finds it extremely exploitative by nature, at least by her own personal experience. The fact that she shot only a few videos, but there are people making money from those videos, whereas she's getting nothing out of it. She didn't make anything out of it. Was that your experience of that world as a performer and as an entertainer, as someone from show business?
No, not at all. Mine is like, I work with the best of the best people. I have no horror stories. I read through every single contract. I corrected every single contract. So that I was gaining something from it. Let's say a simple thing of I was in control of everything that I was doing. And I do believe in that industry there's different sides. But from my perspective, I was in complete control.
Because you were smart about it.
And I saw it as a business, and I saw it as a means to get towards something different. So it wasn't like a free-for-all in my world. So everybody's experiences are different. Mine was totally different.
But do you understand where she's coming from?
I don't know how to say it in the nice way. If you read your contract, then maybe you wouldn't be exploited, because in there are many different things. Let's say you're going to broadcast this. Now you're going to broadcast on one platform, right? But you also broadcast on XYZ. You also license it out to XYZ. You also give it to different advertising outlets and all these different things where it can go. There's 1 million places this interview is going to go if you want it to. Now, if I went in on my contract and I said, nope, this is not going to happen because those things need to be in my control, then they're in my control. That's just reading your contract.
Right.
It's just really that simple, and everybody makes it out to seem like so much more difficult, or that they're being taken advantage of. But you can only be taken advantage of if you allow it.
Them to, right.
In there are certain circumstances, maybe they lied to you. I'm not going to say every situation is the same, but let's say the majority of the rule, the majority of some of the things that people do and companies that they work for, it's pretty straightforward. At least the people I worked with.
Right. But like for instance, the work that you did, it's still there online.
You can't get rid of the internet. That's like impossible.
Right. but you should be getting something out of it in terms of
I did.
What you do.
But I did. For that amount of time, whatever I wanted from each situation, I was okay with it. It's like me telling you to limit where you're going to put this interview.
Right.
Is that going to help me, or is that going to hurt me? Do I want you to exploit this interview?
Yeah, absolutely.
So then?
Yeah.
Okay, this is just basic business. It's not like some poof, like I'm being taken advantage of because you want to put it on a different platform.
It works for you.
It works for me. It just depends on your perspective of what that business is. Okay, so this is just one small example. Why would I want to limit you to exploit this interview? Why? That doesn't help me. That only hurts me. I want you to exploit. Please.
I'm guessing people will just take parts of this interview and run it anyway.
You're only going to put that exploit right as your tagline.
Yeah. No, we're not going to be sensational about it. But I have to say, Sunny, this is something that I think is a very new thing that's happened in India, and I want you to weigh in on this. There is a person who got in touch with me a few months back, and he introduced himself as a male star of the Indian adult entertainment industry. He wanted to be profiled. I wrote a piece on him. His name is Shakespeare, by the way. He's a male. I know it's his real name. It's not Sunny Leone. His parents called him Shakespeare. Parents are professors of English, I think in Orissa. I mean, I was just surprised by, I've grown up here in this country, right? And given the level of shame and guilt that was attached to sex in this country growing up, to a world where he was telling me, by the way, that you are in that world. I think it's relatively underground, that world, but you are like the inspiration, because they just see how big you became as a result, and they're all trying to make it in their own ways. Do you see that level of sexual revolution in this country over years, but that you've been around for a decade plus yourself? Do you see a change where there isn't that much shame and guilt attached, when you even let's say get onto Instagram, that people are pretty, they're comfortable in their skin.
So I think from your point of view, you see it differently. For mine, like we've spoken about, I live in a bubble.
Okay.
And when I go out to go meet people, we don't go, so hey, let's talk about sex. It just doesn't happen.
They just turn around. So she said hello to me and leave.
Or when I'm going to even if it's like some meeting or some conference, it's not like something that's on, the list of conversations. So I have no idea what's happening, in people's homes, in private spaces, if the topic of sex is okay, or do they teach their children about sex education and all these different things? Is that something that is more normal now? I have no idea.
This is the one that is in the series, and I thought it was a moving part. It's a very moving moment about your mother, about her passing away. I mean, did she really go through what she did in terms of becoming an alcoholic because she disapproved of your life's choices in terms of life's professional choice?
My mother became an alcoholic way before of my life choices. So she started drinking long before that. We went through a lot of crazy in our house because of this addiction, and it was sad because you always want to think that your mother loves you more than alcohol. But it wasn't about that. It was an addiction. It was something psychologically that needed to be, repaired from the inside, that had nothing to do with me or with my brother or with, my father. So was I a trigger? Most definitely probably was a trigger, especially when I was always a trigger. It didn't matter what I did, you know, whether it was me maybe coming home late or maybe doing something that she didn't like, it was a trigger. And then when this happened, it was, you know, a stamp trigger. So it was not fun at all.
You know, there's the other thing called the porn star dilemma, when, you know, for instance, you know, this, you are where you are for all your life's choices, right? And I just love the fact that you own it, and as you must. But if, for instance, your kids wanted to be in the adult film industry, would you be okay with it?
I think that I would have to educate them as much as possible to let them know the pros and the cons of this, and let them know that maybe, you know, they'll obviously know what I've done in my life at some point. They're too young now. I made certain decisions because of whatever circumstances happen in my life. So if I can provide you with sound, good decisions where you know what you're doing and you're okay with that, then I don't think I would be able to stop anybody after a certain age. It would be their choice. Like, I don't know, they're 5 and 7 is a long time from now where some of those choices will come in. I think my main worry is how to get through teenage years right now. That will come up.
Yeah.
I think that will be more difficult than some of their life choices they make after 18.